Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paperboy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
It's Saturday. You know what day it is?
Saturday, yes. Thank you for reminding me.
Yes. It's also BOLO Day.
Yes, of course it's BOLO Day.
Yes, it is. It's BOLO Day. Yeah. So what we try to do every Saturday is bring you some items that sold, give you a little bit of fun stories behind them, why we bought them, why they sold for what they did, etc., etc. I'm Paperboy, and I tend to pick up my things from estate sales, church sales, flea markets, things like that. And you're not Paperboy.
I'm not Paperboy. I am Mr. Magazine with a big warehouse, 13 employees, hundreds of thousands of items, and I buy my stuff all over the country, the world, my store, anywhere I can find something because I'm obsessed.
And you buy a lot of items.
Yeah.
You also sell some items. Why don't you take it away and show us some stuff you sold?
All right. First up, it is not basketball season, but it's sports card season, and they're still hot.
Always sports card season.
They're not as hot as they were during COVID, so I made a mistake of not selling this for more money. I put a high price on it months ago when it was going for $700, $800, $900. This is a 1992-93 Topps Basketball Series 2 rack pack showing a gold Shaquille O'Neal rookie on the backside right here. And it was going for about $700, $800 during this peak. That was my buy it now. I think you could have made an offer back then. I waited too long. I sold this one for $400, but I still had nothing into it, so I can't complain. I needed the $400 now to buy something for $800 later. So
let me ask you a quick question. I know back in the day, now that's not a good rack pack because of just the way you can't really see. You can tell what cards they are, but you can't really see the cards. It doesn't present well.
Right.
You go back to like the 1970s baseball, let's say 1977 baseball. When they did the rack packs, you saw the 3 players on top and the 3 players on the bottom.
You saw the front and backs, just like the cello packs. You can see the front and backs, and those go for a premium, and they grade them as well.
Now, back in the day, and we're going back 15, 20 years ago. Let's say that you had a 1977 Topps baseball pack.
Okay.
And the front had it had a I don't know, I just can't think of any players from 1977.
Gary Carter.
Had a Gary Carter card in it. Very good, thank you. Back in the day, if you had a Gary Carter card showing, but it was on the front, it was worth more than if it were the back card.
Correct.
You just saw is it still that way?
It is still like that, yes, definitely.
So know that when you're out there and you're with the dealer, he may be saying, well, it's got a Gary Carter card on it. You go, yeah, but it's on the back. I can't pay you as much for it. Versus if it's showing up on the front, it is worth more. So it's a little insider tip for you.
And if you do find the 1975 rack or cello with Gary Carter on the front, that's probably $5,000.
What about if you find one with Gary Carter, Robin Yount, and George Brett?
Wow, you better call Heritage.
Call
Heritage, yeah, for sure. Well, it's still baseball, and good customer of mine.
George Brett. Look at that. Did you like that segue?
It was beautiful. Good customer of mine's a big fan of George Brett. He's always buying and selling back and forth to me. I picked this up from him, sold it. I think I took $190 on this.
So what is it?
It's a Royals 2020 Panini Select Autographed Jersey Prism, number 2 out of 5. Pretty cool card. It's probably worth $200 to $250. I got a deal on it, so I turned the deal on to an eBay buyer for $190.
Now, is that his jersey that's signed, or it's his signature and they put a jersey swatch in
It's a signature, and then there's a jersey swatch that had like maybe his tag, a size or something from his tag.
Okay.
Yeah. Very cool.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And that's one thing to go off topic just a touch. Yeah. That's one thing I've been reading. We talked about on our live show, 7:30 Wednesday Eastern, most interactive reselling live show out there, about how Fanatics has gotten the license.
Yes, correct.
And there are a lot of people just kind of wondering what Fanatics is going to do, because are they going to be able to take everything to the next level? Because when you and I started collecting back in the 80s, and I was starting to collect back in the 70s, there weren't chase cards, or there were, but they were one per pack, and there weren't parallel sets. There weren't any of that stuff.
One of one, signed one of ones, and signed parallel one of one. It's
and jerseys
crazy.
And refractors. There was none of that stuff. There was literally like, oh wow, I get a sticker with the team name on it.
Yeah.
That was the insert, and nobody cared about them.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really take over the company and scale back. If anything, they're going to grow it. I'm sure.
So the question is, I guess, what is the next frontier?
Yeah, I mean, they got to grow the common stuff and then keep the rare stuff at a limited level, I guess, to keep the interest and the value up. But who knows?
Should be interesting. Very, very interesting.
All right, next up, I have a bunch of these. I listed a couple. This is from a consignment. They had the T206 deal.
And if you haven't checked that out, we do have a little area, only a couple of videos up in it, but it shows the T206 find that we had. And if you like sports cards and you like sports, definitely do seek that one out. Again, it's its own little category on our videos. Definitely amazing stuff. And this came from that same collection, boxing scrapbook. Yep.
So these scrapbooks were gigantic, and they were all labeled by decades or periods of time. This was 1945 to 48, and they're 18 and a half square, which is huge, 256 pages, so it's thick. Just boxers of that era. So I thought it would go for $300-400. I ended up taking around $200 for this. I had it up there for a while. Very cool though for any boxing enthusiast.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
How did you know it had 256 pages?
I counted them.
Oh wow!
I really did.
So you earned your money on that.
Yeah, I didn't list it, but I counted it and prepped it for my employee because I didn't want him spending that kind of time on it. But he took all 12 pictures. He took a picture of the cover, and I think there was better pages with better boxers.
Yeah, Joe Lewis or whatever, right?
Yeah, I put Post-its, whatever, so he would know to take those pictures. But you can't really spend much more time on it. But it's self-explanatory. You see what you get out of 12 pages, But it's still a couple $100. I think I got 3 or 4 more to hopefully we can sell them as well.
Nice.
All right, back to George Brett from my good friend. This is a Hall of Fame induction bat from 1999. It's got George Brett, Frank Seeley, and others on there. I think there's other Hall of Fame players that are better than the Frank Seeley, but my employee didn't know who it was. Nevertheless, it's sold because of George Brett for $167. These are out there because you could buy them from the Hall of Fame and limited, until they sell out. They're all brown Cooperstown bats. So very
all right,
cool.
that's what I was just going to ask what the origin is. So they came from the Hall of Fame. Very cool.
All right, and lastly, if you see anything like this anywhere, any superstar poster books, notebooks, from the 80s and 90s, pick them up. This one for the $56.98. It's Volume 2, 1990s Motley Crue, Skid Row, 4 posters, complete.
What's the most important tip you can give everybody out there on something like this?
To count the posters, make sure it's complete. Yes.
Verify completeness.
Yep.
You definitely will get a premium for that. Not that if it only had 3 of the 4 that you wouldn't be able to sell it.
Right.
Because then, maybe somebody doesn't care about Motley Crue and they're like, I wanted a Skid Row poster or whatever the case happens to be.
Yep.
But definitely do check for completeness on things like this because they will turn up regularly incomplete.
Yeah.
That being said, use that to your advantage. If you see somebody with a few of these and they're incomplete, point that out to them.
Right.
Say, oh, geez, you want $5 each on these. That's cool, but these things aren't even complete. And they may not even know that they're not complete because they may have picked them up and they may go, what? And take a look and go, wow, these are not complete.
Right.
Geez, you got 10 of them. I kind of think these guys are cool. What do you need on all 10? And they might sell them for $10 for the 10 of them because now to them they're damaged goods.
Sure.
And they're not thinking that, maybe I could pull out the Motley Crue and sell it by itself, which you probably could do that as well.
Absolutely.
So there's always a way to sell an item. And it's just you figuring out what it is, and if you can buy it cheaper because it's damaged, yet it doesn't really hurt your ability to sell it, that's a bonus.
Yeah.
So we've got some interesting things over here. These always sell. Funhouse Comedy, September 1970, pinup, humor, jokes, spicy cartoons. Bill Ward. Bill Ward is, of course, a famous artist, did a lot of the pinup stuff. Do make sure that you look through. I ended up buying 5 of this type of magazine. Paid $5 for the 5 of them. I think the 5 of them went for $120, something like that.
Are they full size or digest?
They're all digest size.
Okay.
Yep, digest size. A lot of fun. What I ended up doing is I put the cover, which actually is signed by Ward, and he has a very distinctive signature. If you see that, you know it's his. Cool. He is a selling point. And then I put one of his cartoons up as well. Got to be careful what you put in. They do sometimes have pin-ups and that kind of thing in there as well. But they definitely do sell. Like I said, got $120 thereabouts out of 5 of them that I paid $5 for.
Cool.
And the best of all worlds, they sold within 10 days.
Nice.
Which, for the long tail stuff that we sell.
Yeah, what category? Just regular magazine category?
Yep, magazine, yep. Or I may have listed them magazine. I may have listed them actually, but I may have put them in pin-up. Okay. I think I did collectibles pin-up. Because that's where the people end up looking for them.
Gotcha.
The next item I have over here, sheet music. And you know as well as I do that I'm not a sheet music dealer, yet I seem to bring a BOLO of sheet music once every 2 weeks. So maybe I am becoming a sheet music dealer without knowing it.
Look at you.
Sold for, I think, $44 offer on it. You have a question for me on this.
I do.
You're going to ask me, Papergoy, you don't sell sheet music. You've got big piles of it around. Why did you list this?
Yeah, I'm, I don't know why you did.
And the reason I did was because down over here, it's R.E. Wells, and there's the larger picture. I did the crop in, which our friend Auction Professor taught us to do. But if you look down here, it's just by some New Orleans publisher.
Right.
And I said, there cannot be a lot of these. This is from the South in 1907 or 1897, had to be limited production.
Sure.
So that jumped out at me. It wasn't a publisher that I heard of. I put it up. I wasn't able to find very much about it. I listed at 54, took an offer of 44 or something like that on it. Not bad. So when you are going through that pile of sheet music, if you see some more obscure publisher, take a chance and list it.
Say that was mint and pristine. Is it worth 500? Is it worth 100?
Probably $44.
Well, yeah.
When you get into the odd, rare stuff,
Yeah.
Condition really doesn't matter a lot on it.
Gotcha.
Just because somebody's probably never seen. In fact, the person that bought it was out of New Orleans.
Oh, cool.
So they were bringing it back home. They
Yeah.
obviously collect New Orleans kind of things. So I don't think the condition really. I mean, obviously, if it's completely ripped out with water stains.
Yeah.
But if it's in general condition, I don't think high grade is really going to help something like that much.
Nice.
Next item we have over here, Bantam 100 Temperite Carbonation System Brochure 1960, because that's what everybody buys, right?
Yeah, sure.
And that's where it shows keywords. Boxing, fighting, rooster. And I'm certain that's what sold it. I don't think a lot of people collect the Temperite Carbonation Systems, and if they do, well, they probably got a great addition to their collection.
Sure.
But it's the rooster that sold it, listed the boxing, showed the inside.
Very cool artwork. Yeah.
Yep, great artwork, and just find, we've talked about it in a video, which if you haven't watched, definitely do search it out about the hook. Find the hook that'll sell it, the right hook, as it were.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Perfect.
Very, very funny. It's the boxing is what ended up selling it. So the next item we have over here is my St. Pio prayer book with cloth touched to the relic of St. Pio. This is 1990s, early 2000s, I would guess.
Okay.
Picked it up at a church sale for $1. Sold for $20 in about a week. And anytime you see this little swatch down at the bottom, what it is the cloth was touched to a relic.
Yeah.
And then they cut the cloth up and they put it out. And I know I've shown a prayer card before because prayer cards have those as well. People collect those. For whatever reason, people collect those. So to get $20 out of something that nobody else is going to look at,
Right.
you can find, especially at church sales, you can find big piles of these brochures and pamphlets that nobody goes through. Go through it. If you see this, pick it up. You will sell it. And it's the second day of the sale. Grab the whole pile and say, what do you want for the whole pile? You end up getting the whole pile for $10. You'll get 30, 40, 50, 60 of them for $10. And you got one or two of these in there, you made your money back out of it. Next item, we actually talked about this, my purchasing this 2 straight weeks on a live show, my purchasing it and my selling it on the live show, 7:30s every Wednesday, Eastern Standard Time. Most interactive live show out there. And this is the Visions Corningware.
Yes, nice.
Picked it up for, why, you can tell what I picked it up for, $4.99.
Perfect.
Now you're going to ask me a question about this.
I am.
You're going to ask me, Papergoy,
Papergoy.
why didn't you remove the price tag?
Oh, why didn't you remove the price tag? You're just a show off.
Yes, I like to show how much I made.
Because it's not an original. Is it original? No. It's not
No,
original.
that's
It's
from the thrift store.
Thrift store, yeah.
We always say remove the price tags, but there's a caveat to that. Do not remove the price tag if it's going to damage the item.
True.
And removing this, I took a look at how it was put on there, and it could not have been removed without damaging
Now
the
what about
items.
crossing it off with a Sharpie?
I probably
Like the
could have
price.
done that. Yeah,
I do that at the very least because people do get upset, especially on Amazon for whatever reason. If they get a package and it has 99 cents or $2, they think that's what you paid now or 10 years ago, and they're paying $20 now, and it really upsets them.
Well, that is kind of one of the reasons why I just had this up there, and I'm not trying to hide what I paid for it. I paid $4.99 plus tax, just because I said, you see it when you're buying it, you can't get upset. The price tag is right on it.
Well, and that's the going rate. They could look up 20 other ones. They all sold in that range, so it's not like
It doesn't matter if
yeah.
I paid $5 or
Right. It
or I
shouldn't
picked-
matter, but to certain people it does.
or I picked it out of the pantry downstairs because we never bought, never
Right,
used it.
exactly.
What difference does it make?
Yeah.
So that's kind of a tip, though, is just do try to remove the price tags, but only if you can do so safely.
Yep.
I cannot wait for your genuine reaction to this next item.
Okay.
This next item I actually did an Instagram about, so do check out our Instagram if you. Boy, we're full of shameless plugs this week, aren't
Yeah, someone is.
we? Do check out our Instagram. We do try to post something every single day on it. I believe it's at $1 Million Peddlers, as a matter of fact. That's pretty catchy.
It is. Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Drum roll, please.
Scrapbook, lot 1950s, Pan Am, Paris, Coca-Cola, Perrier, Bambi soda. So it looks just some random items
With a
put on a piece of paper, or is
with-
it a full scrapbook?
No, it's back in front of a scrapbook
Okay. Oh, interesting.
with crushed Coca-Cola
Yeah.
bottle caps.
Cool.
Got $20 out of it.
Good for you, man. But sadly, it's something I would probably buy that if it was part of a deal, and I would think it's cool, but never list it. You know, I certainly don't. I think that's very cool, and they should go for that. That's how I look at it. But yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so that just kind of goes to show you that you just never know what might be out there, and we always talk about having the hook. I think I hit a few keywords there.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
So I hit every keyword that possibly could sell the item. I guess it's like there,
Yeah.
and again, it's got the crushed bottle caps, and that was kind of the part that made me laugh.
awesome.
But hey, where else you going to get it at?
I mean, think about it, if one person on planet Earth in the 50s decided to think that was cool, there has to be more people that would think that's cool.
That's true
Or
too.
doing that, or someone did it and he saw it and he wanted to do it. So
Well, here's the other thing too, and these are not things that you or I normally deal in. Perhaps one of those bottle caps is a rare one.
Yeah.
Perhaps that label is rare.
Right.
I don't tend to deal in those things, so
Yeah.
I don't know. But there was something on there that was rare enough
right.
that the person wanted to buy it, or maybe they just liked the way it
I'm
all
sure
looked
if you
together.
had all those items
Individually.
not individually, they're $5 each. You know, at least.
Yep. So it's kind of neat stuff there.
Yeah.
The next item we have is Newark Metropolitan Airport Brief, 1935, Eastern Airmail Terminal, Mayor Ellenstein.
Wow.
Because
big
that
bucks.
is a great thing to read, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listed it in the airport section, which I don't usually list things at. Picked it up at Madison Bachville, which if you haven't seen the video yet, got a haul video starring Primetime Treasure Hunter. Did pick this up there for, I believe, $2. And it
Nice.
sold very, very quickly. Put a bunch of pictures up there. Basically, what it was, from what I could figure out, was they wanted to expand the Newark Airport. The mayor put a study out, put it out in a book form.
You put it
with
out
some
for
pictures.
$149 and it sold for $149.
Sold for $135. It took an offer of $135 on it.
Very cool.
Again, got to be tough to find, but I only had a couple of dollars in, and it sold pretty quickly. So
Nice.
you just never know what you might find out there. And of course, the person, when they were selling it to me, put no value at all on it. They just
Right.
kind of took one look at it and go, yeah, whatever,
exactly.
and give me a bulk lot on stuff.
Sure.
And the final item I have is just one of those. We're showing the pivot to art and showing how much doing the zoom in on an item definitely does help. And that just looks pretty neat there. The Oscar Cesar original art, Mars God of War, 1916, Congress Bubble Pipe Army Bill. And there's what it looks like normally. You know, which again, always show the overall item, because people want to see the condition of the overall item. But in order to sell it, do the zoom in.
Wow, I never knew they had whiteout in 1916.
Yeah,
Very cool.
they had some kind of a correction thing. Yeah, it probably wasn't whiteout, registered trademark of the Whiteout Company, but they used whatever there. But it's just a neat looking picture over there. Definitely caught somebody's eye. I sent an offer out to a buyer, and I think they paid $140 on it, something rather like that. You know, I ended up making pretty good money on that, so I'm quite happy about it. But thanks for joining me in the pivot to the art world, because again, it's interesting stuff to me, and I do enjoy listing it, and I do enjoy picking it up, and it's a little bit of history that I'm passing along.
I see you don't have the dimensions in there. Do you purposely not put it in, or do you have it down below?
Yeah, I put it down below. Yep,
Yes,
measures 11 1/4 by 20.
Because I know there's something. If I listed it, I'd be getting 20 emails. What size is it? What size is it? So,
Yep, and this is
pretty good size.
and this is where it definitely helps that I'm buying it from Heritage. They do all the work.
Yeah.
I don't know what ink and white watercolor over graphite on Bristol board is. They do.
Yeah.
So I just listed what they listed it as, because I'm assuming that what they're saying is true on it.
Yeah.
Because they have experts. So I'm not above using their experts to help me sell my item.
Yep.
But yeah, my way of looking at it, probably nobody is searching on 11 1/4 by 20.
Right.
They're searching on maybe,
Sure.
bubble pipe,
True,
because that,
yeah.
of course, is a very, very popular thing.
Yeah.
So hopefully that helps you some. Do hit the like button. Do subscribe. Come back next Saturday. We'll have some more pretty interesting things there. Some interesting stories. Help you sell things. Comment down below if any of this helps you. And we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.